Hey, what's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in. In this episode, we are going to talk about are buyers wasting your time? All right. In this industry, there are a lot of buyers out there, and it's a competitive marketplace. So we got to dig in, see if buyers are wasting your time, if you're wasting your time. And stay tuned because we're going to go over the most important question that you need to be asking these buyers and what you need to find out to really determine where they're at in the buying process and ultimately how you can help them. So, uh, as usual, please subscribe to the channel if you like what you're hearing. I'm a new YouTuber to the business, not new to real estate, but really trying to amp up the channel here. So any love you can give me would be much appreciated. Let's get right into it. The buyer, mindset is the first thing you really have to think about when you're on the phone. There are so many different sources out there, and there's so many different leads contacting so many different agents. And these buyers, you need to understand they don't have any loyalty to you as a buyer agent, not yet anyway, until you prove it to them. So they don't understand the value that you may be able to create for them. Hopefully that you can create for them, and finding homes for them these days is easier than it used to be. Obviously, the agent used to hold the golden ticket, which was the MLS, and we don't hold that anymore as agents. Every listing's on the internet. They can find things. They can get an agent at their fingertips by clicking a button. So we really have changed in our role as an agent. So we need to find out what our value add is to these internet buyers, and you need to make them realize it and show them what you can do for them as an agent. Now, I always tell my agents that we're a team, and we're going to get into that a little bit further down in the video. But so there's a lot of things you want to go over on the phone when you get them on the phone. And one of those things is you need to give them what they want immediately. And what I mean by that is they're calling for a certain reason. So it's either to get some more information on a property or to set up a showing most of the time. And what we need to do as agents is there's a couple different scripts. I don't want to dig into too much, but we'll touch on them really quick now. There's a script that I call the ALM script, appointment, location, motivation. And then there's the LPMAMA script that gets much more into detail. The ALM script is a script that actually comes from Zillow, and they have proven that setting appointments is very important when you get on the phone with people. Now, the LPMAMA script is a more in-depth script, maybe a script for more experienced agents out there, where you're really going to dig into a buyer's, situation, their pre-approval, their money, how motivated they are, or if they've been working with an agent, really digging in. The ALM script is simple. You set that appointment, and there's a couple other things you do in there, but the main thing is to set an appointment and get FaceTime. So I used to be a big fan of the LPMAMA script as an experienced agent because I didn't want to waste my time. Now, I've learned that it really depends on who you are. If you're a brand new agent, you definitely 100% want to be following that ALM script. If you're an experienced agent that's getting a little more busy, the LPMAMA script might be something you more geared toward. I use kind of a combination of the both. So, I used to think I was right. Obviously, John versus Zillow, who's going to be more right here now. Zillow puts millions and millions of dollars into research. So, I'm going to go with the big guy on this one and follow what they're teaching us to follow. So that's where I'm going with the ALM script there. Now, some ninja type questions you want to ask. And if you're digging this stuff, make sure that you're subscribing to the channel. Comment, if you're having any struggles as a real estate agent, as a buyer agent, put them in the comments. We'll answer them for you and get you on the right track here, because there are a lot of things going on in this market and just as a real estate agent in general that can be hard. So comment below. So the ninja questions you want to get into, all right, are digging into their pre-approval, their money situation, maybe their credit, their motivation. And the way I do that is simply by asking very nonchalantly what's going on. So it's like, oh, I want to see a home. Oh, perfect. That's great. What time do you want to see it? Set that showing up. And then you're like, obviously you're pre-approved. Can you send that over to my email when you get a chance? And then just pause. Okay. Nonchalant, assuming that they're pre-approved, instead of like, oh, did you get a pre-approval? What bank you with? How much? What are you doing? You're digging in too much, and that might not be what people like, and it's proven to be not what they like. So you kind of have to be ninja-like in your style. Um, you know, if you don't want to go the pre-approval route, like touch on the money route. And I do that simply by kind of touching base with them on money. So instead of saying, how much money you got? You got 20 grand, 30 grand? What are you doing? You want to say it very nonchalantly. So it's like, oh, perfect. Yeah, I can set that showing up for you. Obviously, you got your down payment ready and everything. You've been saving money for the home. Something to those terms, really nonchalant, just kind of slide it in there, pause, right? They're going to answer the question for you. And then you're going to get some information back, and you're gonna be able to establish the motivation or how qualified they are as a buyer by being very ninja-like. Credit's another one. People are gonna come out, and straight up tell you, like, if they have bad credit or not, if you're very nonchalant about it. Like, a way that you could do this is simply like, oh, you got your pre-approval and everything, credit's good to go, Yeah, the people who don't have good credit, usually they're like, no, my credit's messed up. Like, I got to work on it, or they're going to come right out and tell you. So those are 3 ways that you can kind of get the pre-approval money credit done in a ninja-like style. And then in terms of a time frame, if they're calling you to see a home, they're probably pretty motivated. You can throw in some, really quick questions like, hey, if you see this home and you really like it, are you ready to put an offer in on it, because it's a really competitive market out there? And if they're like, no, like they'll back you up a little bit and they'll give you some feedback. So get ninja style on the phone. Don't come out and say it direct. Be a ninja. All right. If you like what you're hearing, again, subscribe, put some comments down there. I also have a free strategy call that you can sign up for in the description. If you have any questions, if you need anything as an agent, if you're kind of struggling in any ways, that's why we do strategy calls. We share, and we're happy to do that. So set up your strategy call if that's something you're interested in. Let's get back into this here. So once you've gotten the phone call done, all right, now it's time to determine the meeting and the showing part of it. So let's assume that I want to meet with this person. You're going to meet with them. That's your decision. Now, when we meet with them, we're obviously going to show them the home. We're going to be asking, questions throughout the process of showing them the home, what they like, all that stuff. When we're done showing the home, this is when we really need to ask. And this is when we dive into the most important question right here. And the most important question is usually the hard question, and it's usually the most obvious question. So we're done with the showing. And there's several questions, but one of the questions is strictly going right at it here. And that is simply, Mr. or Mrs. Buyer, what did you think of the home? Blah, 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 blah. I like this. I didn't like that. Perfect. What are your expectations going forward in buying a home? Are you looking to purchase a home in the next 1 to 3 months when you find the one you like? Or are you more like 6, months out or so? Where are you at? Okay. Are you committed to an agent yet? And are you looking to work with an agent such as myself who can find you off-market properties? Okay. Go right direct and figure out what their answer is. Sometimes as agents, we tend to kind of go around the direct question. When the direct question is very obvious, we're just too scared to ask it. So think about the obvious direct question here. Once we understand where the client is in their mind, that is when we can help them. All right. We cannot help someone until we get into their mind. So if we don't know what they're thinking or what they need or want, or any holdbacks that they're having or problems that we need to provide solutions for, we're not going to be able to help them. So part of our value comes into us asking the questions in order to get that out of them, and then getting them to commit to us based on the value that we can now add for them. And obviously we have a lot of value as a real estate agent, but we want to portray that value. Part of that is by getting information back from them so we can answer those questions. So perfect. Once we've got those hard questions answers, now we need to set expectations. All right. And this is when you're going to get the motivation level from them, after the showing. We're setting expectations by telling them about the market and how it is right now. Right now, we're in a very bad market in terms of buyers. Like, we're competing like crazy out there. So things will change eventually with that. And then your expectations change. But right now, and different expectations in different markets, right? But right now, the expectations are you ready to buy and are you ready to go to battle? Period. End of story. If you're not ready to go to battle, then yeah, we can nonchalantly look at homes here and there. But like, I'm not your guy for you or your gal for you right now if you're not ready to go to battle, because I got 5 other buyers who are. And if you're not ready to go to battle, you're never going to win an offer. So why are you looking in the first place? That is the direct answer I am giving them by setting expectations. Obviously, I'm doing it in a little more, professional way, not as direct as I'm talking to you, but that's what I'm thinking in my head, and that's what I want to come across to them. What you get back from feedback on them is going to determine their motivation level and be able to then get you to decide whether you want to work with them as a buyer or not. Don't forget, it's not just up to them, it's up to you as well. So there are 3 different answers you're going to get here once you meet someone out on a home and show them a home or meet with them and do a buyer consult or whatever you've set up. One is a yes. Okay, that's the easy route. Yes, perfect. I'm excited. Let's work together. Gung ho. Let's go. Right. The other one is a no, and that no is all right. So we're not working together because of whatever reason it is. Maybe it's credit, maybe it's money, but maybe there was enough that I wanted to meet with you just to really find out what the real deal is. So I met with you, right? But it's a no now after digging into you and having that conversation. That's okay. That's a follow-up lead. What can I do now to help you? What is your problem? And how am I going to periodically follow up with you to check in on the solution, see how you're doing, and then eventually get you to the goal of buying a home? That's your no. And then you have your maybe. Your maybes are the people that are like, you're like, I don't know, man, this person's like, they seem pretty good, but I'm not getting a bunch of love back from them. They could be a hard buyer to talk to. They might be kind of shut down. Those are the maybes you have to think about. Maybe they're like, I want to get my pre-approval, but I can't quite yet, or I don't want to, or I don't have time, or let's just look at some homes, right? Those are the maybes, the tough route that you need to really decide. Now, if this person's looking in, and this is how I would decide, if this person's looking in like $100,000 price range, it's like, all right, this person kind of seems like they could be difficult. They're only looking at $100,000, price point. Am I going to spend the time with them? I don't know. Are they looking at a $400,000 price point? Maybe it's more worth the time. So there's different situations that you're going to kind of think about in terms of whether or not you want to work with this person. So that maybe is a decision you're just going to have to make. Another maybe comes into play when you've been working with someone for a long time and you've shown them, say, 20 homes and they're not motivated. They're putting in too low of offers, right? There's a lot of situations that occur. So that maybe also comes later when you're like, do I want to continue working with that person? There is not a great answer here. It is your decision. Sometimes it works out for you. Sometimes it doesn't. Okay. So you just got to get the information you have, have the conversation. Sometimes you need to sit people down a second time and say, like, listen, I want to meet. I don't want to just talk at a showing. Let's get a coffee. Let's hash this thing out. Let's really get inside your brain, figure out where you're at, and let's find you a home or let's not find you a home. Sometimes you have to have those conversations to determine that. So keep that in your back pocket as well. So that's how you're going to dive into, are buyers wasting my time? What do I do? How do I go from lead on the internet through a phone call all the way down to the appointment to the decision of if we're working together and if we're committed? If you like what you hear, again, subscribe to the channel. I'm going to be coming out with a ton of great content going forward for real estate agents. And if you want to set up that strategy call, feel free to in the description. Tune in, stay with me. Love to bring you value and keep you going as a real estate agent to get you more business and money in your pocket. So thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time.